Hello kids. So today in this video I would like to teach you about Roman numerals. Roman numerals. So first of all, what are Romans? Who are the Romans? Actually, Romans were a civilization in Europe around 600 BC to roughly about 450 AD. So 600 BC means 600 before the Common Era, and 450 means 450 years after the start of the century, the counting of the century. So this is the period of Romans. So Romans were civilization, and they had many kingdoms and many periods. So during this period they followed some numerals, because in those days the world was not interconnected as we are today. So many civilizations had their own way of counting numbers. So for example, in India we had our Indian counting system, which is also known as now Hindu-Arabic counting system, which is based on zeros and 1, 2, 3 and so on. Similarly, some other countries like Japan had some other way of counting numbers. So Roman numerals are important for us to learn just for its historical reason, and also sometimes you will see Roman numerals found on old buildings like Greek or Roman buildings. You will see this kind of numbers. So it's important to know, but also it is important to know that these Roman numerals are not used anymore for mathematics. So what are these? So Roman numerals were basically based on some letters, English letters. Okay, so first was I, and this I letter was for number 1. 1 is in our modern system, the Hindu-Arabic numerals, and this I is the number 1. So that means I represents number 1. It is almost like using the finger. So this one finger is for 1. So I means 1. This kind of V symbol was for 5. So they used V symbol for writing 5. So it's almost saying that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we have got 5, so it is V. That means we have finished 5 numbers, counting 5 numbers. V. This is V. So V. Then X was for number 10. Then L was for number 50. C was for number 100. D was for number 500. And lastly M for number 1000. So numerals were only these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 7 numerals. So only using these 7 numerals, all the other numbers have to be formed. And these numerals were not like what we use today. It was like alphabets. As you can see, I, V, X, L, C, D, M. But there were some rules. So these rules were being followed. So for example, if you have to write 1 apple, so you will say 1 like this. Or if you have to write 5 cars, so 5. But then there are numbers between 1 and 5. For example, 2, 3, 4. How do we write 2, 3, 4? So the rule number 1 was that you can repeat the numbers and that will mean addition. So repetition of a Roman numeral means addition. So for example, if I repeat I and I, so it means adding 1 plus 1. So this is same as adding 1 plus 1. So that means it is 2. So if you write I, that means it is 2. Then if I repeat 3 times I, then it will be 3. But for writing 4, can I write I 4 times? No, this was not the rule. The rule was that you can repeat up to 3 times only. So for example, if I say x, it will be 10 plus 10. So x is 10, so 10 plus 10, which will be 20. So in today's time we use these Hindu Arabic numerals, so it is very easy to understand. But in those times, for the Romans, they had to use x, and in their mind they had to understand that it is 20. 10 is x is 10, and then another x is 10. So it is 20. Similarly, x will be 30. But can I use x? No, it was not allowed. Similarly, you can use c or c, and so on. So all the same rules will apply, that up to 3 times you can repeat, and it means adding those numbers together. Now here up to 3 we can write, but what about 4? So to write 4, if we write something on the left side, then it means subtraction. So this is addition. So if I have to write 4, then I should subtract 1 from 5. So first this is 5, but if I write this way, then this is 5 minus 1, because it is on the left side. So therefore it is 4. So this is the rule. But there is another rule which says that only I, X, C and M could be repeated. So you can repeat I to 3 times, you can repeat X up to 3 times, C and M up to 3 times, but you cannot repeat V or L or D. So only the numbers which has got 1, 10, 100, 1000, that means 1, there is 1. Okay, so only these numbers can be repeated. The ones which has got 5 cannot be repeated. Okay, so this is the rule. And already I have told you that no number can be repeated 3 times, more than 3 times. So only up to 3 times allowed. So based on these rules, we can write some number. As I said, for example, if I write C, it will be 100 plus 100, 200. So in today's time we use these numbers to understand this, but you imagine that these numbers did not exist and we had to understand only using these letters. It could be quite difficult. So if I don't have these numbers here and all these numbers, then you have to think about quite difficulty. It will be quite difficult to think about, okay, what is M? So today I can say it is 2000 and we understand what 2000 means, but that time it was very difficult. because 2000 you cannot even count on fingers, so it is quite difficult. So here if we write mm, that means 1m means 1000, so this is 2000. So similarly, if I write x, then 30. If I write c, then it will be c. One c represents 100, so 100, 200, 300. So it will be 300. So this is the way we can actually understand how the Roman numerals work. So we have already discussed about the rule number 1. That means repetition of a Roman numeral means addition. So 1 I means 2, I means 3, and we can repeat only 3 times. Then if the smaller numeral is on the left side, that means subtraction. So IV means 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. Now the second rule is a smaller numeral written to the right of a larger numeral is always added to the larger numerals. So if in this case we had subtracted, but if I want to say 5 and 1, that is 6, then I will write V and I, which is 5 plus 1, it is 6, because we don't have any numeral for 6. So from 5 to 10 we have to manage by addition or subtraction. So for example, we can write VII, this will be 7, 5 plus 2. VIII will be 8, because 5, 7, 6, 7, 8. But when we go to write 9, that means at 9 we will have to write I 4 times, but this is not allowed, only up to 3 times. So in this case we will move on to 10, which is x, and 1 minus, so we go on the left side, so this will be for 9. Okay, so now we have learnt about the subtraction when the smaller numeral is on the left side, addition when the smaller numeral is on the right side. So this is how we write up to 9, and obviously x stands for 10. Now we can go further. So for example, x and I will be 10 plus 1, 11. So this way we can go on until 13. This is 12. This is 13. And for 14 we will have to write 10, and then we already know about 4. So this is the way we write 4. So this is basically equal to 10 plus this is 4, 14. Okay, so Roman numerals are basically using these fixed numerals, which are basically alphabets, and we can write in this way, in a very symbolic way. So you can see that this is very different from the Hindu Arabic numerals which we use here. Today we are using Hindu Arabic numerals to understand this, so it is easy. But imagine if we did not have these. In that case it will be quite difficult, because we will have to count everything on our fingers, or we may have to count on things. So for example, if I want to represent 2, then this is 2. Similarly, if I want to represent 3, then this is 3. So it is quite difficult, but still we need to understand how people in those days in Europe managed to do their counting. Now we have seen this one, 14. So here we can see this is 10, 1 and 5. So in this case we can also think that, okay, this is 10 and 1, 11, and 5, 16. Should it be 16? But no. So the rule number 3 is that when a smaller numeral is placed between two larger numerals, then this will be used for the larger numerals which is immediately after this. So it will be always used for subtraction, not for addition. So that means in this way the rule is that this I is used for the V which is next to it. So 5 minus 1, 4, and then 10. So we do not use this to make it look 16, even though we can say that 10 plus 1 plus 5, it should be 16. But the rule number 3 says that when a smaller numeral is placed between the two larger numerals, then the smaller numerals will be subtracted from the larger numeral which is just next to it, just on the right side. Okay, so similarly, if I write C X I V, so here we can say that this is smaller numeral, so it will apply to this larger numeral here. So that means some way it represents 4. This represents 4, and this is 10, and this represents 100. So we can say that this is 100 plus 10 plus 4, or we can say 5 minus 1. So this is 114. So this is rule number 3. So similarly, we can say, for example, if CXC. Now here X is the smaller numeral between two larger numerals. So this one and this one. So this smaller numeral will be attached to this larger numeral which is on the right side. So that means this will go together. So here it will be C, which represents 100, minus 10. So this will be written as 100 for this C, plus, and then we can say 100 minus 10, this one. Okay, so here another way one can say that, okay, this is 100 plus 10 plus 100, but that is not the case, because according to rule number 3, any smaller numeral between two larger numerals will be attached to the numerals which is next on the right side of this numeral. So this will be 190. So this is all the basis for Roman numerals. So we have just studied about the seven Roman numerals. That means there are no more, only 7 these types. They are used to write any numbers, I, V, X, L, C, D, M, and they represent 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500, 1000. And using this and using these 3 rules, we can make any number. But one problem will be that the numbers will be very, very large, and there are no rules for how can we do subtraction or addition between two large numbers. So we can just practice writing some large numbers in Roman numerals. So for example, there is one number C D X X X V I. Okay, so for example here in this case, now you can see that this is smaller numeral, this is larger numeral, so it will be together. These are all same, so they will be together. And this numeral and the smaller numerals are on the right side, so they will be together. Okay, so D is 500 minus 100, so 400 plus 30 for this, and plus 5, 6, 7, 8. So total it will be 438. So other things you must have observed is that in Roman numerals there is no 0. There is no representation of 0. It is not there. So in the Hindu Arabic system 0 is there, and because of this 0, when we write 1 to 9 and then when we have to write 10, we write 1 0 as 10. Other thing you must have observed that in Roman numeral system there is no place value. So we had learnt about place value, but in the Roman system there is no place value. So there is no 0, there is no place value. So the numbers are represented by letters, and there are only 7 numbers, 7 letters. They represent these numbers, these small and large numbers, and all other numbers are made using this. So that is all about Roman numerals, and you can practice some of very difficult or very large numbers how to write in Roman numerals. Again, using Roman numerals, mathematics is very, very difficult, and that's why mathematics could not be developed using the Roman system. So only using the Hindu Arabic system, which came out of India, we can understand modern mathematics, without which we could not do the mathematics. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you will study more about Roman numerals. If you like this video, please click the like button, and also please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.